All right, so Thanksgiving, right? You're there with family, and that smell of roasted turkey is just everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, you've just finished, a giant meal, and then you start feeling that like wave of drowsiness.
Yeah.
Everyone always blames this tryptophan.
Right. The classic turkey coma.
It's like this almost mythical molecule at this point. It's like the Thanksgiving nap molecule.
Yeah. But, there is so much more to tryptophan than just that post-meal sleepiness.
Oh, really? Okay.
This one amino acid, it has a really wild history, a complex history.
Yeah.
And it's shaped how we understand things like nutrition and mental health, even the future of medicine.
Okay, so it's not just me like, dozing off after a big plate of turkey. There's more to it.
Yeah, way more. Let's rewind the clock. Way back, like early 1900s.
Hi.
Picture a lab in Cambridge, England.
Okay.
This biochemist, Frederick Hopkins, he's working with milk protein, right?
Yeah.
And in 1901, he isolates this compound, this totally new compound, tryptophan.
Ah, so that's like the origin story, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
The grand debut of tryptophan. Sounds like kind of a big deal.
It was because what Hopkins discovered was that tryptophan is what we call an essential amino acid.
Okay.
Meaning our bodies, we can't make it ourselves.
Yeah.
We have to get it from our diet.
Huh. Like essential vitamins and minerals and stuff?
Exactly.
So without it, our bodies are in trouble.
Actually around the same time, there was this horrible disease, pellagra. It was hitting the American South really hard.
Pellagra, I've heard of that. That's scary stuff.
It was dementia, diarrhea, dermatitis. A lot of times fatal.
Wow. What was causing it?
Scientists figured out it was linked to diets that were heavy in corn but low in other nutrients.
Okay.
And corn, it turns out it's deficient in niacin, it's a B vitamin, and you guessed it, tryptophan.
So the lack of tryptophan was actually like directly contributing to this deadly disease.
Yeah. But here's where it gets really interesting. They found that our bodies can actually convert tryptophan into niacin.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like tryptophan isn't just, a passive building block for proteins. It's actively involved in all these complex biochemical reactions.
So tryptophan was like the hero of the pellagra story.
You could say that.
Okay, so what happened next in this tryptophan saga?
Fast forward a few decades, now tryptophan's entering a whole new world. The brain.
Ooh, the brain, huh? Okay.
Scientists discovered that our bodies can convert tryptophan into something else too, serotonin.
Oh, I've heard of serotonin. That's the happy chemical, right?
It is. It plays a big role in mood, sleep, appetite, all that.
So now we're saying this little amino acid from milk is tied to like happiness and consciousness and stuff.
Yeah. This discovery really blew things wide open.
Wow.
I mean, suddenly we're looking at this link between what we eat and how our brain functions, our mental health. It's huge.
Hold on. So you're saying what I eat can actually affect my mood?
It can. This led to what they called the serotonin hypothesis, which basically says that low serotonin levels could be a factor in depression.
Interesting.
And so researchers started to think, well, what if we could boost tryptophan levels? Could that be a way to treat mood disorders?
Wow. Okay, so tryptophan went from a simple building block to like a potential key to mental health.
Right.
But I have a feeling this isn't the end of the story, is it?
No, not even close. The story of tryptophan, it takes another turn, like in the 70s and 80s, with this thing called the kynurenine pathway.
The kynurenine pathway. Okay, that sounds a little mysterious. Tell me more. What's that all about?
So the kynurenine pathway, it's like this hidden network almost inside our bodies. It's like this metabolic maze with twists and turns, and we're still kind of figuring it all out. But here's the thing. Most of the tryptophan we eat, it doesn't actually go towards making serotonin.
Wait, really? So all this time I thought like, eating turkey or nuts, it was like boosting my serotonin. But it's going somewhere else entirely.
Yeah. This is where the kynurenine pathway comes in. It's basically this series of chemical reactions, and they transform tryptophan into all these different molecules, metabolites they're called. Each one has its own function.
Okay. Metabolites. So we're not talking about serotonin anymore. What are these other molecules doing, and why should I care?
Well, some of these metabolites, like kynurenic acid, they can actually be pretty beneficial.
Okay.
They have anti-inflammatory properties.
Okay.
So they can help protect our brains, protect other tissues from from damage.
But that's good, right? I mean, inflammation is usually, tied to all sorts of health problems.
Yeah.
So having a natural way to kind of keep it in check, that sounds pretty useful.
Exactly. But here's where things get even more interesting. This kynurenine pathway, it's really sensitive to our environment, to our internal state,
Oh, yeah.
Like for example, when we're stressed out or if our bodies are fighting out like an infection, the pathway kind of it shifts gears.
So it's like a dynamic system then. It's constantly
Yeah.
adapting to what's going on, inside and outside our bodies.
Exactly. Exactly. And when those stress signals hit, the production of kynurenic acid, it goes down. And another metabolite, this one called quinolinic acid, that one starts to rise.
Quinolinic acid. Okay. Does that one have a good side too, or is this where things start to like take a turn for the worse?
Well, quinolinic acid, it's kind of a double-edged sword, you could say. I mean, it does have a role in certain brain functions, but it can promote inflammation.
Right.
And if you have too much of it, it's been linked to a lot of problems, neurodegenerative diseases, even mental health disorders.
So stress can actually like shift the balance of this whole kynurenine pathway, leading to more of this potentially harmful metabolite.
Yeah, that's right. And it just goes to show, how interconnected our physical and mental well-being really are. Like think about chronic stress. It can have this ripple effect throughout your body. Impacts your immune system, your brain chemistry, it's all connected.
Well, it's all starting to make sense now. It's not just about how much tryptophan you're eating, but how your body's actually processing it, right?
Yeah.
Through this whole kynurenine pathway thing, and that pathway is affected by stress, by your overall health. I mean, it's a lot.
It is. And there's another layer to this whole story. We haven't even touched on it yet. The gut microbiome.
Hold on, the gut microbiome. What does that have to do with tryptophan and this kynurenine pathway? This is getting really complicated.
It is, but it's fascinating. I mean, our gut microbiome, it's this huge community of microorganisms, right,
So
living in our digestive tract. And these microbes are not just, hanging out, they're actively interacting with our bodies, influencing everything. Our immune system, our metabolism, even our brains.
okay, so it's like this hidden world inside us that's constantly talking to our bodies.
Right.
But how does that relate to tryptophan? Do our gut bacteria like actually use tryptophan for
Oh,
something?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
okay, so we've got this kynurenine pathway, right?
Mhm.
It's like this crazy metabolic maze. We're still kind of figuring it out.
Mhm.
But now you're saying that our gut bacteria are in the mix too. I need you to like break this down for me. How do these little microbes in our gut actually like change how our bodies use tryptophan?
Okay, so think about it this way, right? Your gut, it's not just a place where food gets digested. It's like a whole ecosystem.
Oh, okay.
It's teeming with trillions of bacteria and fungi and all these microorganisms, and they're not just passive residents, right? They're interacting with our bodies all the time,
Yeah.
influencing everything, our immune system, our metabolism, and yep, even our brains.
So it's like this hidden world inside us that's constantly like communicating with our bodies.
Yeah.
But how does that tie into tryptophan? Do our gut bacteria actually like use tryptophan for something?
They do. Yeah, some of them have evolved this ability to metabolize tryptophan themselves.
Oh, wow.
They produce their own set of metabolites, and these metabolites they can interact with our bodies in all sorts of ways.
Yeah.
Some beneficial, some not so much.
So it's like our gut bacteria are adding like another layer of complexity to this whole kynurenine pathway thing.
Yeah, exactly. And the composition of our gut microbiome, it matters. Like which types of bacteria are thriving, which ones are less abundant. That can actually influence the balance of those kynurenine metabolites, the ones we've been talking about.
Okay.
Like for example, some beneficial bacteria, they can actually promote the production of kynurenic acid.
Right. Right. The anti-inflammatory ones.
Exactly.
So a healthy gut microbiome could actually help keep inflammation in check by messing with the kynurenine pathway. That's pretty wild.
It is, but it goes beyond that too. Some gut bacteria, they can even produce neuroactive compounds from tryptophan. So molecules that can directly interact with our brain.
Hold on. You're saying the bacteria in our gut
Yeah.
can make compounds that can affect our brain function.
Hmm.
How is that even possible?
It's one of the most fascinating areas of research right now, the gut-brain axis. Scientists are discovering that our gut and our brain are constantly talking to each other, sending signals back and forth through nerves, hormones, immune cells. It's this whole complex network.
So our gut, it's not just about digestion.
Yeah.
It's playing a much bigger role in our overall health, including our mental health.
Exactly. And tryptophan is right at the center of this connection. It's a key player in the communication between our gut and our brain.
Okay?
Like one example is this compound called indole 3 propionic acid or IPA.
Okay. Hi, Keith.
It's produced by certain gut bacteria from tryptophan, and research suggests that IPA might actually have neuroprotective effects. So
Yeah.
it could potentially protect our brains from damage, from inflammation or oxidative stress.
So our gut bacteria are like making a molecule that could protect our brains from damage. That's amazing.
It is. It just goes to show, how connected our gut and our brains really are. I mean, what we eat, the bacteria that live in our gut, the way our bodies metabolize tryptophan, it's all intertwined, right? It's all influencing our mental and physical well-being, and we're just starting to understand how.
Okay, so let me get this straight. What we eat, the bacteria in our gut, and how our bodies metabolize tryptophan through this crazy kynurenine pathway,
Hmm.
it all works together to influence our mood, our immune system, even the health of our brains. That's a lot to take in.
It is. It's a complex system, but understanding these connections, it's opened up a whole new world of possibilities for improving our health. We're not just talking about treating symptoms anymore, right? We're looking at ways to address the root causes of disease
Hmm.
by manipulating our gut microbiome, by influencing the way our bodies process tryptophan. It's really exciting.
So instead of just popping a pill, we could be talking about changing our diet, taking probiotics, or even, and I can't believe I'm saying this, fecal transplants to adjust the balance of bacteria in our gut.
Exactly. It's a paradigm shift in medicine. It's moving away from this one size fits all approach and towards personalized interventions, targeting the specific needs of each individual. And it's all thanks to this seemingly simple amino acid called tryptophan.
Well, I have to say, tryptophan has definitely like exceeded my expectations. It's not just about turkey comas and sleepy Thanksgiving afternoons. It's a fundamental building block of life,
Yeah.
and it's so deeply tied to our health and well-being in ways that I never imagined.
It really is, and its story, it's still unfolding. I mean, from its humble beginnings, in a milk protein, to these intricate connections with our gut microbiome and our brains. Tryptophan has really revolutionized our understanding of ourselves, and I have no doubt that future research will continue to uncover even more surprising and remarkable facets of this essential molecule. It's really amazing.
Well said. So next time you're enjoying a meal, take a moment to appreciate the incredible journey of tryptophan, right? From your
Oh.
plate to your gut to your brain and
Okay.
beyond. It's a reminder that even the smallest molecules can have a profound impact on our lives. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.